na na. Family goes, oh na na na. Oh na na na. Come kick it with the Casey's. All that love and all those babies. C-A-S-C-Y. Welcome to their lives. Welcome. C-A-S-C-Y. DJ Envy and Gia, oh oh. It's time to kick it with the Casey's. You're tuned into the Casey crew.
What's up, y'all? It's DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And this is another edition of the KC Crew.
Welcome. Hello, beautiful people.
That's right. And I probably saved Gia's life.
Oh, here we go.
I did.
Of course.
I did.
Of
I just want to
course.
tell everybody out there, go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. If you don't have insurance, go to the emergency room. Go to the doctor. We're seeing more and more people dying at a younger age. And make sure you just check yourself out. Fellas, go get your colonoscopies, go get your checkups every year, check your blood pressure, make sure your cholesterol levels are good. Make sure you check yourself out because you want to be there for your kids, you want to be there for your family, you want to be there for your parents. So make sure you're there. So I'm the type of person that if somebody dies, I hear something, there's a sign in the sky, I'm going to call Mercedes and I'm going to say, book me an appointment. To the point where last week, somebody that I know passed away. And I called Mercedes and I was like, yo, book me an appointment to the doctor. So she did. But the doctor called me and was like, why are you coming here? And I'm like, because I think it's time. And he was like, time? You just had a physical a couple months ago. Is everything all right? I'm like, yeah, everything's all right, but I just want to check. Doctor was like, man, if you don't call me back in another 4 months to get the fuck out of my face. But I'm just saying that to say that we have to go to the doctor. You have to get yourself checked out. So I was scrolling through Instagram. Actually, I was playing spades, right? Because I play spades on my little phone. And I definitely play spades when Gia's watching Housewives of
Wherever.
Patterson and Housewives of fucking Brooklyn, whatever. When she's watching a Housewives show, I'm playing spades. And something came up, and I don't know who the young lady was, but I really didn't get the full message. But she was, I believe, a singer. And she recently found out she had breast cancer. And she said she wished she would have checked herself out sooner. So when I seen it, Gia goes to every doctor you could possibly imagine when it comes to it. She goes to the dermatologist. She'll go to this doctor. She'll go to that doctor. But usually because I force her. So I said, babe, have you got a mammogram? She goes, no. Ha, ha, ha. And then I got in it on her ass.
I did not.
I didn't get in on your ass?
I didn't laugh like.
I said, that's not fucking funny. I said, you don't want to be here for your kids? You don't want to be here for me? You think it's funny? You're supposed to get your mammogram and you didn't go to get your mammogram. So she was like, okay, book me an appointment. And when I book an appointment, now Benz was on vacation. She was in Jamaica, so I called Benz immediately. Yo, book her for a mammogram, the first one. So it was today. So Gia's going to start actually vlogging, right?
Yes.
We'll see how long this takes. But Gia's going to start videotaping herself go to these doctor's appointments because I think it's very...
I'm not just vlogging about doctor's appointments. I'm going to vlog about things that I think are either important or fun or entertainment worthy, the type of things that I'd like to see someone vlog about, things that put me up on game about different things.
All right, so you're probably going to get 1 week of vlogging and it's going to be over, but...
Wow. The support is crazy, or the lack thereof.
No, I support, but we just know you. But like I was out...
me?
Yeah.
I think that they recognize that you're a big part of the reason that our podcast was inconsistent when it was inconsistent.
No, it wasn't.
They know.
No.
And they also sensed you hurrying the podcast up towards the end and rushing through emails and stuff. No. So don't sit there and put that on me.
No, well, the reason is this. Now, a little behind the scenes information.
Oh.
Back in the day when we used to do the podcast, we used to have a specific time. Let's say the time was 1 o'clock to tape a podcast. Am I lying, gang? Oh, don't be quiet now.
They don't got nothing to say.
Don't be quiet now.
You don't got no people.
So we used to tape at 1. But by the time we used to mess with Gia and Gia getting ready and all this other stuff, we wouldn't start taping to 7.
This is not true.
Gang, is that a lie? Is that a lie?
You need more people.
Is that a lie? Benz, S. They said, no, it's not a lie.
It was not a 6-hour wait.
Yes, it was, all the
Get
time.
me a glam squad. Get me someone to do my hair and makeup, because I do it all myself.
Whatever, but it would take that long. So now, what they would say is, since I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, Mercedes and Esther would be like, you look tired. Your eyes look low. Is this, that, and the other? So I'd be like, I'm not doing this. 7 o'clock at night, I'm tired now. Then it would be a big whole clusterfuck of an argument. Yeah, I just got ready. It took me time to get ready. Now you said you don't want to do it. I said, because I've been sitting here waiting for 6 hours on the couch like this.
Does that not sound like a whole exaggeration, guys?
Ask S. Ask Mercedes. So like I said, it got to the point where I was like, I'm tired of waiting 6-7 hours. So we stopped doing it. But back to the vlog. I'm proud of her to do this vlog.
He's not proud of nothing, apparently. How dare you segue and go right back into I'm proud of her. I mean, if y'all get the vlog. As if she even does it.
You'll get a week.
No, you know what it is?
Maybe 2.
Here's the difference. A vlog, I don't have to do. I do that when I want to. When I think that there's something that has some value worth sharing. So it's not as though I have to do a vlog a week or 2 a week. I can do it when I want to do it.
Okay.
Right?
So you'll get one every 6 months. But
okay.
But what I'm saying is Gia, so I made Gia get an appointment for her mammogram, right? She was supposed to do the mammogram 4 years ago. What's your excuse there?
No, it was actually 5 years ago.
So what's your excuse now?
Did I say that I had an excuse?
5 years ago.
I didn't say I had an excuse.
5 years ago.
I actually, while I was vlogging about it today, I said that I should have had it done many years ago, but I didn't because...
Now, I've been checking. I'm not going to lie. I checked. I checked to make sure there's no lumps. But on the seriousness, I made her go, right? And ladies, if you have a husband that doesn't like to go to the doctor, book the appointment, make him go. Fellas, same with your wife, your girl, make her go. So they went today. She vlogged about it. She's going to talk about the procedure, what happened, what she had to go through, and everything with her. So I'm excited about you guys to see that because it's just something that we should be doing as a community to make sure that we are pushing ourselves to make sure we are healthy for our kids. This week, she's also going to a heart specialist. Now, the heart specialist is kind of cool. His name is Dr. Puma. And what he does is he puts some type of fluid into your system. And you can actually see the fluid on the screen. And he'll give us the actual, he'll probably give it to us. Yeah, I ask him. But he'll give us the actual footage where you'll see it going into your actual heart. So you'll see it going into the veins of the heart. You can see the widowmaker. Anything that's wrong with your heart, you can see from that test.
What do you know about the widowmaker?
What do you mean? It can kill you immediately.
But what is it? What's the widowmaker?
I don't know. I know it can kill you immediately.
But he knows that you can see it on the screen.
No, but you can see it on the screen because that's the one thing that could possibly kill you. So it also shows you the I was gonna say the bacteria, the plaque that's built up in your veins and your heart that could actually kill you. I believe I don't want to explain the widowmaker because I don't want to sound stupid. You Google it yourself. You Google after this. But what I was saying is it can show you the plaque and if there's a problem with your heart then and there. So if there's a problem, they can fix it right then and there. Right then and there. They'll fix it right then and there. So if there's plaque on your veins or connected to your heart or your arteries, they can actually take the plaque out. If there is something wrong with your widowmaker, I just think a widowmaker is something like
it looks like a valve.
Yeah, the valve.
This makes me think you're talking about a valve.
That's what I think it is.
Unless you were talking like this, then what would you be talking about?
You tell me. You tell me. See? But we're going to go to the doctor on Thursday so, we can see that process.
Its very name implies trouble, and in matters of the heart, it can be devastating. Many victims are middle-aged men.
Widowmaker is basically, we call it because it happens in one of the main blood vessels that supply oxygen to the heart. When it is completely shuts off, there is no oxygen going to the heart.
If the artery gets abruptly and completely blocked, it causes a massive heart attack that very often leads to sudden death.
So most of the times when this happens, half the people die unless you open those blockages pretty quickly.
The damage is done before someone realizes what's happening in many cases, but there is a way to beat this heartbreaker. Experts believe playing it smart could save your life.
If you know that someone in your family has a heart attack, your chance of having a heart attack is definitely higher.
Making it extremely important to look at additional risk factors, including hypertension, high cholesterol, diabetes, obesity, and inactivity, things which can all be changed.
Exercise 4 to 5 times a week. Make sure you're eating right. Make sure you're not smoking. And make sure you lead healthy, active lifestyle.
Staying ahead of heart disease may be the best way to cheat the widowmaker.
But like I said, we just want to go through the process of actually doing things to make sure that she is actually healthy. She went and got a colonoscopy. I made her go after I got mine. These are the type of things that we should actually absolutely positively be going to. If you do have insurance, most of it is covered. I mean, even if you don't, right now until Trump gets in office. I think Obamacare is still there, so they'll pay for a lot of it. So you should definitely check on it to make sure. So Gia's going to be actually vlogging a lot of her procedures and what she has to do just to get herself checked out. And hopefully you guys can see in it, encourage you guys to do the same.
Yeah, that's what the value is in it, as far as I'm concerned, because just like you said, I'm not really the type of person that goes and makes my own doctor's appointments. And, like I have to be probably bent over in pain, to get me to go to the
She'll
doctor.
be like, get it stopped, man. And then me don't know, go to the doctor, man.
Yeah, so I've never said that.
A little oxtail and curry, got no doctor, man.
I mean, oxtail does cure a lot of things.
See?
But yeah, so for me, thank you. For me, I guess I would have appreciated some encouragement to get me to go and get my mammogram done, or to get my yearly physical done, to go to my gynecologist once a year, because I'm more so the type that goes to the gynecologist when I'm pregnant or when I'm having a baby. I've probably missed. I know that fly knows when we're doing a podcast. No, seriously. Like, this is like the resident podcast fly. Like, how?
I've been thinking about this fly, right? Hear me out. When people die, sometimes they reincarnate into other things. Let's just say that fly was a family member.
You've been thinking about this?
I have. Because that fly won't go away. That fly's been in this house for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. And it follows us. It was
but
in the
I
kitchen
only
early.
see it when we're filming the podcast.
Exactly.
In this room.
Let's give the fly a name.
We can call them Wings.
I think I'm Marty, though.
Marty?
Marty McFly.
Marty the Fly?
Marty McFly.
But when I just said Wings, Esther and Benz went, oh.
That was whack.
Wings.
It's called Fly Chew because he's part of the Chew family.
Fly Chew doesn't have a ring to it.
All right, call him Wings. All right, salute the Wings. All right, but go ahead. What you were saying?
I forgot what I was saying.
Okay. Well, she is going to be vlogging her experiences to the doctors. And also, Gia is going to be vlogging her experiences of her cooking. Now, if you don't know, Gia is like a mutt, right? Meaning she has a bunch of ethnicities. What's the word?
Ethnicities.
There you go. That word.
You put a couple extra syllables.
Yeah, but you know what I meant. But she has all that in her. And all that creates some amazing food, right? When Gia cooks, whether it's the sazon on the chicken or it's the oxtail, it's the amazing rice. That's like your Asian side. That's like the Jamaican side. That's all of it. So when she puts it all together, it's an amazing dish. And people always ask, I do the breakfast. So maybe if you guys are lucky enough, I'll show you how to cook breakfast, but maybe not. But she's going to be cooking for you guys and showing you guys how she prepares some of the meals for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, or just on the weekend. So I think that's going to be pretty dope as well.
Yeah, it's actually going to be a cooking show.
Mm-hmm.
So look out for it. So we just vlogged the grocery shopping list for our first episode. So look out for that. I'm probably going to put it out as a reel on Instagram, the vlog, and then maybe as a YouTube short or something like that. So the point is, look out for it. And I'll be wearing this because it's been a long day between grocery shopping and then going to the...
Getting fondled.
And getting, yes, I was definitely getting molested.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked it. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, getting that done. And then a few other things I had to do today. So I'm a little tired. It's nighttime now. We're usually shooting this during the day, but look out for those vlogs. I think you'll enjoy it.
All right. Well, let's start the podcast. You know what I want to start with? At what age should you allow your child to date or have a boyfriend?
Oh, that's a good topic. What made you think of that?
Because the other day, London, who is 11 years old, came in and said that there was a boy that liked her.
Oh,
school.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I told her to tell her that my dad said I'm not allowed to have a boyfriend or even like a boy. So if you look at me like that again, he's going to break your nose.
I'm sure the conversation didn't go like that.
Okay.
That might have been your inside voice. What did your outside voice say?
I said, goddamn right, you can't have no boyfriend. She was like, I don't want a boyfriend. No, not at all.
She didn't say that because she wanted a boyfriend.
No, she was like, I'm into dancing. I'm not into boys right now.
She did say that.
That's right. And I'm happy for that. Madison wasn't into boys into college, so hopefully we'll keep the same. So I'm sure she told you the same.
Well, she showed me the text that he sent her. And oh my gosh, she broke his little heart. Like, I was like, oh, Lundy, that's what you sent back?
So what did the text say?
He said something like, I think he said something like, I have a crush. Do you want to know who it's on?
Mhm.
And then he didn't wait for a reply, I believe. And then I think it just said, you. And she said, what did she say? I think you're a really nice kid, but I just want to be friends. But you're really nice, though. I was like, oh, Lundy. I was like, you could have polished that up a little bit so that he didn't feel as though he crashed and burned on his, first time out the gate. Like, yeah, I like that you said that, but I feel like it could have been a little bit smoother,
Mhm.
And then she said the next day she went to school and he didn't even so much as say hi to her.
Well, that's how it be
So
sometimes.
because because he was probably hurt. She probably just hurt his little feelings.
Yeah.
But London's 11.
London's 11, and London is very harsh. She's very harsh.
What do you mean harsh?
She tells you what it is, how it is, and what it's gonna be. She doesn't fluff things. Like if she doesn't like it,
she's direct.
Yeah, she's gonna tell you
It's
she doesn't like it.
different. Harsh and direct are different. She's direct.
Yeah, you could call her direct, but she is that one kid that's direct.
No, Madison is very, very.
I was gonna say that.
Madison is uber
Just
direct.
like that. That's what I'm saying. She reminds me of Madison.
Oh my gosh, they are one and the same human being.
Brooklyn, the nicest kid ever. Jackson, if Jackson got that message, Jackson would say, "It's so sweet that you like me so much, and I'm just flattered by it, and it just gives me butterflies to even know that somebody likes me like that."
And I love the shoes that you had
And I love
yesterday.
the shoes that you had on yesterday because you look so beautiful. It's just this time I'm just focusing on soccer, but maybe in a couple of years we could hook back up because your eyes twinkle. That would have been Jackson.
That would have been Jackson. Jackson is going to find something nice about you to say.
That's right.
He is the sweetest little boy.
That's right. Now,
Brooklyn would have been like, she would have came home like, Mom, I guess I have a boyfriend now. And I would say, why? And she'd say, well, because someone told me that they liked me. And even though I don't like them, I just didn't want to hurt his feelings. So, he's my boyfriend.
that would have been
He's
Brooklyn.
coming over for Thanksgiving.
That definitely would have been Brooklyn.
That would have been Brooklyn.
Peyton probably would have punched him.
Ray would have punched him in the nose.
Peyton,
Like two.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's funny. We were talking about, the side note, we were talking about if our kids were from a borough of New York, what borough?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
So we said Madison would be from Long Island.
Madison would definitely be from Long Island.
We said Logan would be from Queens.
Logan would definitely be from Queens.
London would be, I think, Long Island too.
She would definitely be Long Island too.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Jackson would be, I think Jackson would be from Jersey.
But that's not a borough.
Okay, so it would be.
Let's expand the scope a little
Yeah,
bit.
it would
Jackson would be from Jersey. Uh-huh.
Brooklyn would be
From Brooklyn. Brooklyn would be from Brooklyn.
Peyton,
The Bronx.
the Bronx. Peyton is strictly Bronx, like strictly the BX. When I see Brooklyn, I think of Remy Ma / Cardi B's. Like that is straight up and down Peyton, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now back to so. At what age do you think it's okay for a kid to have a quote unquote boyfriend? You was a little fast ass. You had boys early, so I'm talking about our kids.
Wow. I was very fast and very slow at the same time.
Well, you weren't fast sexually, but you had boys.
No, I wasn't. Well, that's kind of the point. Like, I like to have like little boyfriends, but all I would do was kiss.
Mhm.
Like, you couldn't go up my shirt. You couldn't do anything at all if it was anything beyond the scope of kissing. But I did have my first kiss at 10.
See, fast ass,
His name was Esau. Yep.
fast ass.
Yep. And I thought I was in love. No, I'm just kidding. But I did like him a lot. But yeah, I also didn't tell my mom or my dad. But, like I had like little boyfriend, but I had like clusters of little boyfriends. I had like one from this part of Brooklyn, one from that part of Brooklyn. And I was younger. Like I was definitely like 11, 12, 13 on until I met you at 15 and then that all stopped. I think that a good age to start being able to say that you have like a little boyfriend might be like the 8th grade, like 13.
I think more like,
Like a little boyfriend.
I think more like high school.
Like 14?
Yes.
I don't really think, it's nice
Definitely
to say.
in high school.
It's nice to say, but I don't think that that's realistic.
Why not?
Because a lot of little girls start liking boys around like the 5th, 6th grade. That's around the age where you start, talking about who you think is cute. And I mean, you start having crushes on boys even before that, like I remember like having like little crushes or little boys having crushes on me in like the 3rd or 4th grade. It didn't mean anything. It might just be the passing of a letter. But I think you start identifying that you like members of the opposite or the same sex at around that time. Then, like when you're in the 5th and 6th grade, then maybe, you start kind of narrowing down like who you like and what kind of appeals to you. But that's still too early. But I think like the 8th grade, most 8th graders I think are like 13,
Don't you
right?
think boys and girls are distracting? Like they should really focus on school, and then when they get into high school, it's kind of they can open up a little bit. But I feel like
I just don't think it's realistic.
Why not? I didn't have a girlfriend until I don't even know.
But you were also a turtle.
Watch your mouth.
You were also very slow, just like I was.
Fly turtle.
Like both of us, like Rashawn and I, we weren't into doing much more than kissing. We kissed for like a year.
So?
I liked it. That's why you stuck around. See, because with me, I liked having like cute boys and whatnot and talking to them on the phone.
I was cute.
You were cute. And them coming to my block. You're very cute.
I know.
And them coming to my block and taking me to the candy store or maybe going to see a movie, like little things like that. But for me, all of that was very, very innocent. I drew a hard line when it came to anything more than like a kiss. And my first, I would say like real boyfriend, which was my boyfriend right before Rashawn, I really liked him and he was a great guy, but he wanted to take it past kissing. And anytime a boy tried to take it past kissing, that's what I would break up with them. So I would have all of these like little between 1 and 3 month, quote unquote, relationships at like 13, 14 and whatnot. But they weren't real relationships. All we did was talk on the phone and walk to the park or, something like that. But with Rashawn, he was just like me, like we really just wanted to go out and have fun.
Right.
We wanted to go to the mall and we wanted to go again to the movies. We wanted to go.
But that was in high school though.
And I mean, but here's the thing. Also, I skipped a grade. So when I was 13, everybody else in my grade was 14 or 14 going on 15 or, whatever. So I was younger, but all of my peers were a bit older than me. So, and I also think that I was very mature for my age. So even at 13, I was more mature than my 14 or 14 and a half year old friends.
So what do you tell parents out there that they have a 9, a 10, 11, 12-year-old and they're starting to talk about boys or they're starting to talk
9
about
and 10. Listen, it's cool. It's fine if you're little 9 or 9 is early. But if like your 10-year-old or whatever comes home and says, oh, like I have a crush on a boy. I think that, Jamal is cute. Okay, that's fine. Like you can think that someone is cute. And I definitely thought that kids were cute at that age, but it can't go beyond that. That Jamal isn't coming to the house and you're not going to Jamal's house.
Correct,
or
of course not.
Anything like that. Like a little crush, a little passing a note and class. Like, okay, that's going to happen. Like, I think that that's normal. That's natural because that's when you start identifying those feelings. But as a parent, I wouldn't allow anything until you were about like 13. Meaning, if you want to go on a date and I bring you to the movies and I sit outside, and then when the movie's over, you come outside and then I drive you home. If you want to talk on the phone or sit next to someone at lunch, like an innocent type of thing in the 8th grade, I think that that's fine.
First of all, I'm not picking up my kids at the movie or dropping them off. We all go into the movies. They can sit in the 5th row and I'll sit in the 8th.
Well, my parents actually did that with me. Yeah, I had a little boyfriend named Miguel when I was.
Oh, damn, how many boyfriends you got?
I had a lot of little boyfriends.
Fast ass.
I mean, it wasn't. I wasn't fast. I don't know. I had a little collection of boys. It's the truth. His name was Miguel. And I actually met him at church. I used to go to church at the Brooklyn Tabernacle on Flatbush Avenue. And I met him at church. And, oh man. All right, I'll tell you what happened. So, we were going to go on a date and we were going to see The Terminator. I don't remember which installment, but we were going to see The Terminator. Mm-hmm. And I actually told my parents that I was doing something else. Oh, this is wild.
You was a liar back then too. I can't trust you
Yo,
now.
this is what I did, right? So I went to the corner and I had called a cab that was supposed to pick me up from the corner. And I guess I was like red flagging all over the place. So when I walked to the corner, I turned around and my parents were in the car. They drove to the corner to see, like, what is she doing? So I went to the corner. I looked over my shoulder. My parents were right there. And I told them the truth about where I was going. And I was going to a movie theater on Flatbush Avenue and I was meeting Miguel and we were going to go see The Terminator. And my parents drove me to the movie theater and they sat in the movie theater in the last row and let me have my little date with Miguel. And I was 13.
Now, just
I should have gotten my ass
just
whooped.
rewind that. So let's say our kid walked out and said they were going,
my
and I pulled up to them. What would Daddy do?
My parents were very gracious because that would have been a whole different scenario if it was one of our kids. But that's what happened.
They would still be locked in their room right now.
They would still be locked in there. Yes, absolutely.
But I just wanted to talk about it because, of course, we have an 11-year-old that's, boys are starting to like her and it's starting to get to that age where I'm sure she's going to start liking boys soon. So I just want to make sure, how do you have those conversations with your kids about boys and girls? And not the sex conversation, that's the fact that boys like you and how it feels. Because a lot of times, a lot of kids won't feel comfortable talking to their parents about that.
Well, our kids feel comfortable talking to me.
Hey, right.
So for me, it won't be difficult having any kind of conversation with our kids. But I think for a lot of parents, it will be difficult because they probably haven't built up that repertoire with their kids. I think that we've kind of engraved in our children that we are a safe space and they can tell us. I'll say that differently, that I am a safe space. And I think it's because I'm open-minded.
I think so.
And because I'm realistic and I'm understanding and I'll set the boundaries wherever the boundaries need to be set.
But I also think that I think in this could just be us, but I think there should always be a good cop and a bad cop when it comes to parenting. I just feel that way. They know that mom is open and mom will get them to where they need to be. They also know dad is militant when it comes to certain things. So I think that good cop, bad cop plays off of each other.
How old were you when you had your first kiss?
I don't know.
Do you remember who your first kiss was with?
No.
You don't even remember who your first kiss was with?
Mm-mm. I don't.
That's crazy.
I barely remember stuff from 2 weeks ago. You think I remember that?
I don't think that there's anyone who doesn't remember their first kiss.
I remember my first call.
Now you see where his values lie.
Yeah, I remember my first call.
Really? Do you remember your second kiss or like your third?
No.
How many kisses do you think you had before me?
Not too many.
Be real.
I don't know. Not too many.
Like, I know of one.
Not too many.
How many do you think you had?
I don't know. I don't know.
Did you have more than one?
Yes. Don't try to call me a turtle.
You were a turtle.
Faster than a turtle.
But that's actually what I loved about you. Like there was you didn't pressure, you didn't rush me. Like we were just about having a good time and enjoying each other and getting to know each other. And then when the time was right, the time was right. And that was very sweet.
It's funny. We interviewed Steve Urkel, Jaleel White on the Breakfast Club, and we were talking. I was like, damn, I was Steve Urkel without the suspenders and fucking high pants. Like I had the glasses, the braces, the high-pitched voice. Like I was him. But I wasn't, I wasn't Stefan, you know what I mean? I wasn't Rashawn. So I wasn't that fly, you know what I mean? So that wasn't my concentration. My concentration was baseball, it was swimming, it was basketball, it was DJing, But
by the time I met you, you got your fly up.
I got my Stefan.
You got your Rashawn. Yes. But when do you think is the right age that a child should be able to date?
I think high school.
So regardless of age, you're talking more like grade.
Yeah, high school. I think when you're in high school, because high school you get a different responsibility, right? You're walking from class to class. You have to do things on your own, whether you have to take the bus to get there. You got to pay for your own food. You're more of an independent, and having a boyfriend or girlfriend, not sexual, but somebody like that, I don't mind when a parent is watching. So I think high school.
You don't mind when a parent is watching. Mm-hmm. So if your 8th grade child came to you and said that, let's say it's Jackson, because we're talking about London. Let's say it's Jackson. Let's say Jackson had a crush and his crush had a crush on him. And they talk on the phone and they text and whatnot. And they want to go see the new Wicked that's coming out. You would say no? if her mother was okay with
If her
it?
mother was okay with it, and we would have to go as well, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I would prefer high school, but if that was the case, I wouldn't mind. But I definitely would prefer more high school.
Okay, so you're saying you have a preference, but you wouldn't
Yeah.
shut the door. So you're saying it's more of like a case-by-case
Yeah,
situation?
because I feel like a girl or a boy can take your focus away from things that you need to do, right? Because once you have a girlfriend or once you have a boyfriend, my focus didn't become the books anymore. My focus became talking to you on the phone. My focus became taking you out. My focus became, I mean, we would see each other all day long, get home and then talk all night. When the fuck was I studying? When the fuck was I doing homework? I wasn't. You know what I mean? So I would say the focus, I like the focus to be school and books. And then when you get into high school, then you could.
When you get into high school, it doesn't change because we met when we were in high school, and you're saying I was still a distraction,
Right.
right? So that doesn't.
But there was
That
things
doesn't change
but there was things
anything.
that I learned and I could maneuver and finagle. I feel like when kids, go through until the 8th grade, there's so much that they're learning now that will help them out for the future. Like I always tell everybody, I didn't know kindergarten was so difficult. When I was in kindergarten, it was more like babysitting. These kids learn multiplication, division, all that in kindergarten. So if your child misses kindergarten, your child's fucked. So, what? It's the truth. It's the truth.
But let me know in the comments, guys. When did you have your first little boyfriend or your first little girlfriend? Were you more in like the 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, or did you wait till high school?
That's right. Well, you can email us, thekcrew@gmail.com, THEEKCrew@gmail.com.
Just want to say one more thing. Either way, I think that you have to make sure that you have cultivated a trustworthy relationship with your children. Because I'm speaking for me from a point where I know that we have a specific relationship with our kids. If I didn't have that kind of relationship with our kids, I definitely wouldn't say like the 8th grade.
Mhm.
I know that my kids, they come back and tell me pretty much everything because sometimes I'm in complete, total shock and awe at the things that they do tell me. You know what I mean? But if you don't have a trustworthy relationship or an open or vulnerable relationship with your kids, then maybe your answer can vary. And I think that high school would be the safest blanket answer.
That's right.
All right.
Well, let's get to pillow talk.
What's in, what's up, what's down, who's trending? I wanna know now. Can we talk? Can we pillow talk now? Can we talk? Let's pillow talk now.
Now, pillow talk this week, I want to discuss something that I did for you the other day. I woke you up while you were sleeping, and I put on an outfit for you. Do you remember what that outfit was?
This boy's crazy.
Explain to the people what the outfit was. Because then I walked down the hall and showed my daughter.
I think that their opinions that was hella inappropriate. But so it was post Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight.
Right.
And there was a clip that we saw of Mike Tyson with like some bootyless shorts on, right? So he does maybe like an interview or something like that. And then when he turns around to walk away, you see his cheeks, right? So Rashawn wakes me up and he comes and he's like, "You like these shorts on me?" And I thought that it was a joke because not for nothing, the shorts were inappropriate from the front. So I thought that was the joke. And I'm like, oh, he ordered some shorts that was too small for him. Ha, ha, ha. So I go to put my head back on the pillow and he turns around and I'm met with nothing but some unsightly cheeks, right? And then he goes running out the room, apparently to go knock on Madison's door.
I go knock on Madison's door. Like, you got to understand, this is who we are as a family. So I knock on Madison's door. I'm talking to Madison about the fight. We laughing about the fight. So I'm standing in front of her and we just talking. And then I turn around and Madison's like, "Oh my gosh, Dad, you're crazy." So her and Andrew came out the room and they died laughing. But that's me. But I want to talk about the fight. Forget my ass out. Well, I got it right now. You want to see? Oh, okay. So I want to.
You gonna go change for the people?
You gonna change for the people.
You gonna go change for the people?
So I want to talk about the fight this week, and of course, it was one of the biggest things that we've seen. If you've seen it on Netflix, it probably reminded you of AOL dial-up because it kept buffering over and over and over again. And that's your Netflix? Your Netflix was good?
Ours kept buffering over and Rashawn had to keep logging out and then logging back in.
So people were saying that it was horrible for his legacy, the Tyson fight. What are your thoughts?
How much did they get paid for that? That's what I was wondering the entire time. Like, how much can Mike Tyson possibly be getting paid to do this? 20 million?
Yeah, Jake
Who
Paul.
cares about the legacy then?
Jake Paul.
Just kidding.
No, Jake Paul got 40 million, upwards of 40. Mike Tyson got upwards of 20. And I'm not gonna say I don't care about the legacy. That fight doesn't do anything to his legacy. To me, it was just an exhibition fight, an exhibition match. I mean, Mike Tyson, they done did Mike Tyson so dirty. They stole his money. He had investors that invested in horrible things. Mike Tyson went to jail, lost some money. He's been sued. It's been so much. So Mike Tyson didn't have it. And the career that he had, and he's probably one of the biggest, I would say top 5 boxers out there when you talk about recognizable. I mean, probably Muhammad Ali, of course, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, and then you can put your other 2 there. Some people,
Vander Holyfield.
Some people might say Holyfield. Some people might say Roy Jones. Some people might say Sugar Ray Leonard. There's so many people that
And
people
not
could
in that
say.
order at all.
Right, not in that order. But the fact that he was able to fight at 57, 58 years old, to fight a 27-year-old, and was able to come out there and not in the hospital and made $20 million. I love that. I don't care about the legacy. He was able to fight. He was able to live another day. He talked about a couple of months ago, he almost died because he had blood clots. So he had to get a blood transfusion and was still able to train. And put it like this, a lot of y'all at your age right now had to take a nap to watch the fight. Me being one of them. So the fact that
That's you too?
it's
Had
been
to
to
take
me
a
too.
nap.
So the fact at 58 years old, he was able to get in that ring, do 2-minute 8 rounds. I give him all his props. And I don't care what any of y'all say. If Mike Tyson, if you step on Mike Tyson's foot to this day, I guarantee you're going to run. Because when Mike Tyson turns around, you're going to feel like he's going to fuck you up. I always tell this one Mike Tyson story. I was in a club one night, right? I'm in a club. And you know, sometimes when you're in a club and there's like somebody on you and it's like you want to move them out the way. Perfect example. The other night we had Madison's party. And there was this dude that was real close to me, like close to me. And you know when somebody's close to me, instead of saying move, you kind of bump them like, yo, get the fuck out the way. Gia's looking at me, was like, you see the guy, why is he so close to you? I'm like, calm down. So now Gia's not having a good time because now Gia wants to be my security, right? Mind you, there's 50 of us in the club. I'm like, now Gia wants to be security, calm the fuck down. But I kind of just,
I gotta make sure that he's safe.
she gotta make sure I'm safe. So
Yeah, because he was literally on you. It was like disrespectful.
And what did I do?
Like it was such a lack of respect of someone's space. That was wild.
When people drink, sometimes they don't know. So what did I do?
It was early. There was no drinking this, and it was early. We weren't there for too long. It just seemed like he was being a little disrespectful or unaware.
And I boxed him out, right? Boxed him out. Yeah, but like, kind of like push him out the way. So rewind. So now I'm in a club in New York City and there's a guy next to me and I don't feel him. So I'm like trying to push him out the way. I'm like, damn, this nigga's on me. So I go to kind of push him and he don't move. So I'm like, who the fuck is this? I turn around, it's Mike Tyson. You know what I did?
He went and got a red carpet and rolled it out for him.
I was like this. My bad. I'm sorry. My bad. Because it just, to me, he just looked like a monster. He's not that tall. He's like 5'8", 5'9", but he feels like he's 6'7", nothing but muscle. And I damn near ran off because I didn't want no problem with him. And I realized early on, I'm like, he's scary. And he wasn't even in boxing mode. I think he had a suit on, but I was scared to shit out of Mike Tyson. I was like, nah. So the fact that at that age, he still got in the ring and he's still that scary, I'm not mad at the $20 million.
I do think that it wasn't great for his legacy.
Why?
Because we always want to see our greats go out on a high. We never want to see our
That's
greats.
a high. $20 million is a high.
No, money isn't the high.
Oh, yeah?
What you stand for, what you do, that is your legacy. Not the money that you made.
But his last couple of fights he lost. It's not like he left on top where he was knocking people out. His last couple of fights he lost.
I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not like a big boxing fan, so I can't really speak to that. But it wasn't highly publicized. Hence, I don't know about that. But everybody in the world knows about this. I don't want to associate Mike Tyson with losing. Like, he's like our champ. He's like our winner when it comes to boxing. He's like our generation. Mike Tyson punch out. My brother got the Mike Tyson ring for Christmas with the Mike Tyson dolls. You know, it's just, he's like a sign of the times for us.
Think about all the stuff that you just named that he probably didn't get much money from. So the fact that he was...
Hold on. So I'm gonna get to that, right? So that's how someone that is sitting in the judgment chair might look at it, how someone that's naive might look at it like, oh, we don't want to see our great go out like that. But then on the other hand, there's real life. And people have to make money to survive. And if he's in a financial pickle, do you know that to be true, or are you just assuming that that's true?
I don't know he's in a financial pickle, but I do know he doesn't have the money that he had before. So
Okay.
people were saying it's $20 million, I'm sure.
So then also
Upwards of 20.
So then I'll suffice it to say that $20 million is a lot of money.
Mhm.
It is beyond life-changing. It could be life-saving in a lot of ways. I can't judge what a man does for money as long as it's legal. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he used something that he's great at, his talent, and it doesn't hurt his legacy in the sense of what you mentioned before, the fact that he is 58 and Jake Paul is 27. I mean, and Jake Paul seems to be a hell of a boxer. So it's not like he lost to a scrub or someone that wasn't worthy of fighting him.
Well, Jake Paul also picks his bouts. Jake Paul is not going to pick a heavyweight contender. He picks his bouts.
Whatever. I'm not mad at that.
But he's drawing in. I mean, he's thousands and millions of people are watching.
And that's amazing because that makes him a businessman and that makes him someone that knows his strengths and it makes him someone that knows how to make money and give people what they want and entertain people. There's a skill when it comes to that. There's a talent where it comes to that. So you can't take away from him or why he fought the fight or whatever, because if it wasn't worthy, guess what? Millions and millions and millions of people wouldn't have been in that stadium, and millions of people weren't in the stadium, but those people plus all the people that watched would not have watched. So clearly it was a good idea from that perspective. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm glad that he made the money.
That's right.
I'm glad that he made the money.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Congratulations to Mike Tyson. That's our little pillow talk. Now, I just want to tell you one more story about boxers. I got hit by a boxer one time.
When?
Zab Judah. Zab Judah is Mike Tyson's protege. And if you don't follow boxing, you can look up Zab Judah. He used to be in Jay-Z videos back in the day. He was one hell of a boxer. He probably was the one boxer that almost beat Floyd Mayweather. They were fighting in Atlantic City and they got into a huge brawl in the ring.
Wait, a brawl outside of the fight?
They were fighting and it turned into a brawl where both camps were in the ring fighting.
Oh, okay.
In Atlantic City.
How long ago was that?
A long time ago. Long time ago. So Zab is a personal friend of mine and we used to go out all the time. Like we used to go to the clubs with each other.
He used to be in the basement, your mom's basement, when you were DJing. Like I would be down there, you'd be practicing and whatnot. He would just be there chilling.
So Zab was a close friend of mine. Still is a close friend of mine. Salute to Zab. One night we were at the club and the bouncer wouldn't let us in. Right? And it was like 4 or 5 of us. And the bouncers wouldn't let us in. So Zab started getting into an altercation with the bouncer.
And Zab was small too.
Very small.
Yeah.
So I went to grab, and this is why if you're ever fighting and you ever see me in a fight, I'll never grab you. Never again because of this one moment. So they're squaring up to fight. I grab Zab, like, yo, chill. Like, you're a boxer. Like, you're making millions of fighting. And I guess Zab didn't know it was me. When I say he hit me so hard in my stomach, I wanted to die. Like everything, I threw up right then and there, right in the middle. It was right in the middle of the street. You know what club it was? It was Limelight.
Okay, yeah,
It was Limelight.
How come I don't remember this story?
I don't know. He hit me so hard, I damn near almost threw up. I fell on the floor. They fought, and then after, they was like, yo, who did that? Like, they thought that the security did that. And I was like, you, nigga, you don't want to hit me that hard. And everybody started laughing after that. So after that.
He punched and you threw up right there?
Yes. 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 So after that, if somebody fighting, I'm not going to break it up.
You're not going to grab them, yeah.
What I do is I grab the other person. I'm not going to grab.
So that they can punch you in the stomach, you can throw up on them?
No. I didn't think about that, but I ain't grabbing nobody.
You just don't want your friend throwing up on you.
You're right. You're right. All right.
No, but that does make sense. You know, like if you have all that adrenaline going and you're fighting someone and someone grabs you from behind.
You can see red.
You just see red.
I'm glad he didn't punch me in my face.
You're going to because you'd be missing some teeth.
Definitely missing some teeth.
And a cheekbone.
Maybe.
Possible nose.
Eye socket. Who knows?
But
anyway, so that was Pillow Talk. Now let's get to the email of the week.
If you don't know what to do or think, put it in a letter, just send it. We'll read it in the email of the week. The email of the week.
Hi, Gia and Envy. I want to start by saying that I'm a very private person and tend to handle my problems on my own. So why are you asking us if you're a private person? You don't need us. I'm just joking. So this is very out of character for me to write you. However,
Aw,
over the past
so
few years,
honored.
I have grown to truly appreciate the genuine transparency that you both show and share with your viewers and fans. God has blessed you both greatly, and many see your now. Yet,
See what?
see your now, like what you have
Okay.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Yet it's your past experiences and challenges that brought you to where you are now. You have shared your good, your bad, and your ugly. Why you call my wife ugly? Don't call my fucking wife ugly. You have shared your good, bad, and ugly. She's talking about you, you know that.
I think they'll know that she was talking about you.
Okay. So we all know that you have to put in the work. And for that, I trust you and your relationship advice.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so here it goes. I've been married to my husband 5 years, and we dated 2 years before we got married and practiced celibacy for religious reasons prior to marriage. I knew on my wedding night that I was in trouble, but I thought it would get better over time. Not only did it not get better, but he's never interested in having sex. He's slightly older than me, and I'm sensitive to men having issues as they get older. But when I discuss it with him gently, he turns it on my like, I want too much sex or I'm crazy and I want to try new things. To tell you how bad it is, in 5 years of marriage, we've only had sex in the bed. Boring. When you guys talk about your amazing sex life, I'm so jealous, LOL, but it's shown me that my expectations aren't realistic.
Are realistic.
Aren't realistic. My expectations of what she wants aren't realistic.
No, wait, her expectations would be realistic then, no? If she's saying that,
But it's shown me that my expectations
I understand what she wrote, but does that
aren't
make sense?
unrealistic.
Can you read that sentence again when you guys go
When
ahead?
you guys talk about your amazing sex life, I'm so jealous, LOL, but it's shown me that my expectations aren't unrealistic.
Aren't unreal. I thought you said aren't realistic. So they
What did I
aren't
say?
unrealistic.
Oh,
Oh, I was right, right? Okay, because I'm like, am I going crazy?
I forgot the sorry.
Okay. So they aren't unrealistic, which means that they are realistic.
We've been arguing about sex and the lack thereof since we got married, and now I'm fed up and ready to leave him. I'm not saying that sex is everything, but it's a very vital component to a relationship. Now, if I ignore my dismay with him and our sex life, he acts like everything is okay, but I've shared with him how the issue has brought a great disconnect between us, and I really don't want the marriage or him anymore. Before you say, go to counseling, I've already tried that, and again, he attempts to turn the table on me like I'm the problem, which makes me feel totally offended by him. Not only is he not taking care of my body, but he's not taking care of my heart either by ignoring this problem.
Yes.
What do I do, Wendy?
I want to know what you think.
I don't think there's enough information to actually answer. The reason being is she talks about how it affects her and how she feels, but she didn't discuss the reason why he does not want to have sex.
Okay.
Right? So the reason I say that is maybe he's not comfortable in himself. Maybe he's not getting erect. Maybe he feels like he can't please her. And maybe these are some of the things where where he would have a problem with having sex with her. It could also be the fact that maybe he's just not into sex like her. Some people are heavily sexually, right? Sexual? Sexual.
They're heavily sexually.
Heavily sexual. Some people are heavily sexual, right? Is that sexual?
No, this is sexually.
Some people are very funny.
Tonight I want to be heavily sexually.
She's a clown. Keep drinking that.
I'll take another swig.
But some people are very sexual, like very, they love sex and they're into it. And some people are not just as into sex. And I think a lot of times people feel like how they are matches their partner. The fact that you were celibate for 7 years, showed
2 years, I think.
Well, 2 years. The fact that you were celibate for 2 years, you really didn't get to know what your partner was sexually, right? Because he's somebody that might not be into sex like that, and you're somebody that's heavily into sex. So you got married without knowing each other sexually. And then it seems like when you got married, you just expected, you expected it to change. You expected him to match you, and it didn't work like that. So I would try to break down what the problem is first to see if that could be fixed, if that could be tamed, because it might be something as easy as a blue pill, which gives him a lot of confidence. Or it could just be he's just not into sex like you are. And if you guys are not into sex the same way, then it has to be something where it says, hey, well, I don't want to be in this relationship because he doesn't match my sex. Or is I love him so much, I'm just going to use this rose more. I think that's up to you. What do you think?
I'm going to start out strong and then I'm going to dial back.
Okay.
I think that bad sex is a deal breaker.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially, and this is the dialing back, especially when you are with someone that's not willing to make concessions for you, that isn't willing to hear you out, that's not willing to validate your concerns, that isn't willing to attempt or to try to do what it takes to make you happy sexually. I think people, as sex crazed as this world is, I feel as though people still discount how important it is in a relationship. I mean, it's like God gave us all of these senses. It's like you think about it, like our eyes, we're allowed to see things that are beautiful. With our nose, we're able to smell pleasant scents that bring us joy. That's why we spend so much money on perfume and aromas for our homes and candles and things like that. Our ears, like beautiful music, and music can bring nostalgia and make us happy, and taste and touch things that feel good, like a nice velvet sweater or a nice cashmere sweater. Like God gave us our senses because that's part of the way, or I guess in totality, like all of the ways. Well, I guess most of the ways, because then there's like intelligence and whatnot, and social awareness. But those are like a majority of the ways that we take the world in, that we enjoy life. God gave us pleasure points for a reason. I mean, if you get into it, it's like, he wanted it to feel good so that we would be encouraged to procreate and produce offspring and things like that. But those are natural, organic needs that human beings have. So to be my partner in life and to neglect my needs or brush it off as though it's not that important, and then when I voice it to you, you act as though it's not even worthy of your time or your concern or a proper conversation or many, I would take that very personally, because it's one of the great joys of life, sex. It really is. And to go through life with bad sex, like who deserves that? Really? And I'm saying that from a standpoint that I don't think that it's a situation with erectile dysfunction. Because I think that if it was, she is clearly intelligent enough to have included that in her email.
Well, let me tell you this, right?
Unless you're going to say that maybe he doesn't want to tell her that he has erectile dysfunction, so he just stays away from having sex. And maybe he used celibacy as the reason that he didn't want to engage in sex until he got her and got the ring on her finger and got married, and then probably approached it with the idea that you're stuck with me. So now what are you going to do? Is that what you're thinking?
No, I was going to say, I agree with you to the extent of what you were saying. But what most people don't understand is nobody will fuck you better than a nigga with no job.
What just happened? I don't know what just happened. Yo, what just happened? I'm confused. What?
If you
Wait, what?
I'm not even gonna do.
How did the dude with no job just enter the chat?
I'm gonna tell you why.
I'm confused.
I'm gonna tell you why.
I thought we were talking about the blue pill, and that was a dude that doesn't have a job.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Did y'all follow? Because I didn't follow.
A broke nigga, excuse my French, a broke person, or a nigga with no job, a person with no job, will fuck you better than a person with a job, right? I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm gonna break it down.
I think I know why, but okay. Because a person that has other things to offer can lead with those things.
Not only that, no, that's not it at all. What most people, and I would say women is, and sometimes we get a lot of emails. This is not the first email that we got like this. We get a lot of emails like this, right? I would say the first thing is this. A person with a job that is providing for their family and they have kids and work hard are usually stressed out, right? And they usually work themselves to the point where they're tired and they don't feel sexy, nor do they feel like having sex because they're beat. And their focus is usually on their family. A broke nigga don't have nothing. He just wants to know how he's going to eat that night. So if he got to fuck the shit out of you to get some chicken, he going to fuck the shit out of you to get some chicken. And that's the truth. It's the truth. Usually somebody that's broke will fuck the shit out of you. Somebody with no job will fuck the shit out of you. I'm being honest.
S. Dot is in utter disagreement. All I hear is, yo.
It's the truth.
Son.
It's the truth.
That's crazy. This is wildin'.
S. Dot will put it on a big chick, right?
He has a job.
Right. But my whole point is, before S. Dot had a job, right? S. Dot would be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. My girl is this, that, and the other, right? But now when you start working and you start having to do podcasts all the time and you start doing all this stuff.
Personal.
I'm telling you. Ask S. Dot. This lady's lying.
He said he's still Jamaican.
3 jobs.
He said he can work 3 jobs.
He's lying.
And still put it down.
He's lying. But if you speak to a woman, most women say, they have a broke dude or a dude with no job on the side because they give him the dick.
The good
dick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the dude, their husband or their person is usually not as good because they're focused on a lot. And with that being said, I'm saying you need to find out why he's not. Is it what?
She said that on their wedding day, she knew that it was going to be a problem. So it was trash on her wedding day.
Well, she's a freak.
And what's wrong with that?
Nothing, because he's not. Maybe she should have been at the baby oil parties and she would have had way more fun.
So you think
On
that
that wedding night, she was mad. He probably did missionary on the wedding night because that's probably what he probably doesn't know because he's somebody that was celibate. He does not know.
These 2 people were celibate for Christianity. But this lady is a firm believer in God.
So what do people that believe in God can't be freaks?
They can't celebrate.
What?
They were celibate because of that.
They were celibate for religious reasons, meaning they were going to wait for marriage to have sex. But that doesn't mean she's not a freak. That doesn't mean she don't like in the butt. That doesn't mean she don't like all that stuff. She might be a freak and wanted that freaky stuff, and he's just not into it.
She didn't say that she was a freak. I think she just probably wanted or expected good sex that made her feel fulfilled. I don't think that there's nothing in there that's telling me
30 seconds. And she's like, I wanted more than that.
That's okay. Listen, if a dude waited 2 years to have sex with me and he came in 12 seconds, I would be okay with that.
Maybe she's not.
You just need to take a little nappy poo and then you need to get back up and we got to run that back. And then I want to see then the next time you might get to 30 seconds and then we're just going to build on that. And that's perfectly okay because that's natural. What I'm saying is that her expectation is natural.
So what advice would you give her?
What if he's small?
S. Dot said, what if he was small? I'd be fine if he was small. Like, I mean, I would assume that she probably knew what his penis looked like beforehand.
Maybe not.
Even if she didn't, whichever way, I'd be fine if he was small. I'd be fine if I was just working with what God dealt us. What I wouldn't be fine with is that if I wasn't satisfied and I made that clear in a nice and gentle way that did not hurt his feelings or his security, because that you have to take care of your person's feelings, right? I would not be okay if I voiced this to you and you acted like you did not care. If I said, hey, let's try this, or let's do this, or let's go away this weekend and have like a nice, intimate, sexy weekend or whatever. And he was just like, yeah, no, I'm good with that. I would not be okay with having sex once every 2 months. Did she say how often they have sex?
No. She did not say.
But I know people that have sex once every 2 months.
She just said,
that are married.
5 years of marriage and we only had sex in the bed. Boring.
Yeah. For newlyweds, only having sex in the bed is kind of whack.
So
sex in the bed and only in the bed is when you're like pushing geriatrics. Like when you're older and maybe not as limber. Do you know what I mean? Like sex should be spicy and fun. And if fun to you is in the bed, then that's all good. But clearly she doesn't like that. And if she's voiced that and he still insists on having sex in the bed, or they're not having sex often, like what more can I do besides communicate with you and explain to you what my needs are? It seems as though he just may be, or I guess you could say he has a low sex drive. I think that if it was an erectile dysfunction issue, she would have mentioned that.
So what is
unless you think that she doesn't know.
So what's the solution?
She said, so Esat just said sex therapy. She said, before you suggest we go to a counselor, we've already been to a counselor. Sex therapy, I think sex therapy could be a good idea. But she said they went to a counselor. So if she went to a counselor about sex, then she probably went to a sex therapist, I would think, right? And if that failed, listen, she made it very clear. Run it back. Let me see that real quick.
Sure.
How did she put it? She said, I'm not into him or the marriage anymore. How did she put it?
Yes.
How'd she say? Do you see it?
Yeah.
Read it.
She says, now if I must say, he acts like he's okay, but I've shared with him now the issue has brought a great disconnect between us. I really don't want the marriage or him.
That sounds very clear to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe in fighting for your marriage. But if I'm being honest, I do think at some point the fight is over. You know? Yeah, I do. I do because I take it personally when I have an issue and someone treats you like they don't care or treats you like your issue is secondary and invests no care, no interest, no concern. And I guess this is where I would take it personally. And he's going to carry on like, yeah, so I'm not going to address it. I'm not going to do it. Like, what you going to do? You going to leave? Like, she ain't going to leave. That's the definition of taking someone for granted. I personally take that personally.
See, I disagree with you.
I take that personally. Listen, she said very clearly, basically, like, I'm over him and the marriage. So she knows how she feels. If she's expressed it with her words, she may have expressed it with her actions. And they sought therapy, sex counseling, sex therapy, whatever you call it. And none of that has worked. And he's still chilling. I think that that's grounds to say maybe this is not it, because I'm not going to be the long-suffering wife living a life of bad sex.
See, then, then no disrespect, Wendy, then I wouldn't want to be with Wendy then.
Why is that? So you wouldn't want to be with me either, because if that was our situation, that's how I would handle it.
I'm going to tell you
how many times, like how much talking can I do?
I'm going to tell you why. Because when you go to marry somebody, right, you marry somebody for who they are as a person, right? You marry for their heart. You marry for love. You marry for what it is, the goodness, badness, and whatever vows that we did, right? So when you marry somebody for that. If they're shorthanded on the sex part for whatever reason, because we don't know. But if they're shorthanded on that, do you throw everything out? Because
if they act like they don't care?
Because if they love you, they treat you well, they treat you great, they give you everything that you want as a person but this issue. And the reason I say that's a problem is because we all have shorthanded in our relationship somehow, some way, right? Some are shorthanded in the way that they provide. Some are shorthanded in the way that they show love. Some are shorthanded in whatever it may be. But for whatever reason, the sexual part of this relationship is not right. So until we address what it is and the reason why, I don't think that's ever a reason to say, you know what, the sex is not good, I'm out.
That's not, but you're misunderstanding me. Because that's not what I said.
What did you say?
My issue isn't the bad sex. I can get through the bad sex. I can get through the small penis. I can get through the ED, if that's what he's suffering. I can get through all of that. What I want to know is that you're trying, that you care, that you're willing to have a conversation.
Okay.
If it means that you need to go get a little, what is it, a blue pill?
Yeah.
Is it a blue pill? You need to go get a little blue pill, then you get a little blue pill if it is the ED. If it's not, and you're just not that sexually motivated, let's have a conversation about that. Let's say, okay, let's try to at least have sex twice a week, or let's get on some type of plan. Let's get on a road towards fixing the problem.
If they both want to fix it though, right? And the reason I say if they both want to fix it, because I can see a woman saying, okay, I want to have sex, let's do twice a week. Then when a guy tries, then be like, you're just doing this because we had this conversation.
Well,
You're laughing because that's how women are. That's how women are.
Hold on.
Like, let's have a conversation. We have sex. Oh, you only want to have sex with me on Friday because we just had a conversation. Well, how the fuck are we going to change? And see, that's the same thing with dudes, because there's a lot of dudes that email us and say that their woman doesn't want to have sex as well. Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing. But as long as they're both willing to have the conversation.
But if that's the plan, now, if our plan is this is how we are going to remedy our situation, then I'm not going to feel like you're patronizing me. Do you know what I mean? Because maybe you genuinely have a low sex drive. And that's okay because we're all different. I'm not saying that I need to be married to a sex-crazed maniac, although I might like that. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if we're on two different pages, I need you to try to meet me in the middle. You know, I'm not going to say I want to have sex with you every single night. And you might want to have sex once every 2 months. Let's try to start having sex once a week. Then maybe we build it up to having sex twice a week. I need to know that at least you have not just your toes, but your whole foot, your whole leg in the water. And then at some point, you're going to be willing to jump in. Meet me halfway. Show me that my concerns, my interests, the things that worry me about our marriage are of significance or importance to you. That's what you have to show me. Do you understand? Because if you are just flipping about it, like, yeah, what you going to do? You going to leave? All right, then leave. Or you're telling me you want it. And I'm like, yeah, well, you're just not going to get it because I'm just not in the mood. I don't feel like it. Like, that ain't my thing. So I'm just supposed to live with somebody talking about, that ain't my thing. So I got to be like, oh, I guess it's not his thing. And then I have a life of my needs not being met. No, we have to work together. We have to be on the same page. And I need to know that you care enough, that you love me enough to do that much. And if you can't, then maybe we're just not meant for each other. And, obviously, I'm not, a proponent of divorce. I think that you have to be in dire straits to get a divorce. But she clearly said, basically, I'm over him and this relationship. And she didn't say it where she sounded like it was begrudging, I really love him, but this just might push me over the edge. No. She was very, very clear. So if you know that your situation has gotten you to that point, then maybe that's what needs to be done. And I would not be surprised if she came to him with that and was serious, because now it's not a threat. Now it's, I'm telling you how I really feel, because that's the scariest place to be. When someone tells you how they really feel, when you get someone to a point where they genuinely don't care and they don't have to fake it to try to elicit a reaction out of you when they really don't care, that's when you know you're in trouble. That's when you know that you're in trouble. And I feel like when she comes to him with her truth, he's going to know he's in trouble. He's going to know the marriage is in trouble. And at that point, he may fix up, because it's kind of like a game of chicken. The person that always loses in the game of chicken is the person that has nothing to lose. And once she's already stepped out of the relationship mentally, she doesn't have anything to lose. And I bet you he's the chicken that falls off the fence.
Yeah, see, I think that's your problem. You always want to play a game of chicken. Who wants to?
Who said I always want to play a game with
it's
chicken?
It's the person that loses first. This is not a game.
It's an analogy, Rashawn.
This is a relationship.
It's an analogy. Did you guys understand the analogy?
No, but Gia's whole life is, let's see who breaks first. No. I think
it's not true.
I think you guys should have a conversation, and I agree with some of what Gia said, and try to get on the same page.
Right?
I will say this, Wendy, and you can email us, thecaseycrew@gmail.com. I would love to know a couple of things. One, what your weight is, and if you gained weight in the marriage. Two, I would love to know.
I can't stand you.
Two, I would love to know if when he comes home, how do you look? Do you look like when y'all first met, or do you look like...
It's only been 7 years.
You never know. Or do you look like you've been cooking all day in the kitchen and you got your cap on? I want to know how you look, because I would say this too, and I don't know, so I'm not judging you, but I'm saying make yourself look appealing to your man. Fellas, make yourself look appealing to your girl. If you don't look appealing, you can't expect them to feel or want sex.
That's not true. Because Rashawn will tackle me with a whole headscarf and my fuzzy pajamas on a Wednesday. So that's not true.
You ain't got a fupa.
That's not the point.
What's wrong?
We might have had more sex with a headscarf on than without.
You probably did. I mean, Gil would say no, she's too tired, and then I'll wake her up the other morning at 6 in the morning, and you was like, no sex, and I'm like, yeah, all right.
No, and it was 5:30 in the morning. And what was that about?
I was horny, and you was like
5:30.
I was horny the night before. You said you were too tired. So
I did not say I was too tired the night before. That's not what happened.
Yes, you did.
No, that's not what happened.
Tired. Yes, you did.
That did not happen.
Yes, you did.
I probably fell asleep. I didn't say I was too tired.
I fell asleep.
I didn't fall. I probably went to sleep.
So I woke you up at 5:30.
5:30 was wild.
You didn't stop me.
I tried.
Did you really?
No.
See? But yeah, Wendy, good luck. And tell us how it works out. thecaseycrew@gmail.com. TheeKCrew@gmail.com. All right? But we'll see you guys later. We appreciate you guys for riding with us. And have a great week. I'm DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
That was another edition of the KC Crew.
Doodles.